Alright, what's up guys? We'll do a framing and exterior framing, interior framing takeoff, and we'll also do a quick bid tutorial on this. This is a real takeoff that I'm working on, so we'll just link it to quick bid and kind of show you how quick bid works. So here we go. I already went through, named a few of the important pages just so I can get to them quicker. And we'll just do a little bit in the beginning here and then show you quick bid. So here's our floor plan. Looks like we got a demising wall here, 510 and 911, which it doesn't have those on this per se, but this is your wall type. 2-hour rated tenant wall, 6-inch 20 gauge studs. Fun stuff. So we'll go here and make this an interior walls. We'll call this a 2-hour firewall. Don't know the height just yet, but we'll just plug something in until we find it. Make that red because it's a firewall. Let's put in here 2-hour firewall in the notes. We'll just make that like that. Just check our scale, 1/8. Check it again on here. We're good. Okay. This over here says 8-inch CMU wall, which is all of these all the way around, but it also has metal stud furring. We'll look at the details on that and see what that's all about. Let me pull up quick bid here. So before this, go to your cover sheet and make sure this says quick bid interactive, so it talks to each other. It links to here automatically. We're going to open this up. Actually, let's find out this height first. We're going to find this on our wall sections. See, there's that metal stud on top of that CMU wall. So 3/4 of an inch is our scale here. I can never find it. There it is. So we will go from here to the deck, 19 feet. Since they don't make 19-foot studs, we'll make this a 20-foot stud. I'll just say 20 foot high. Okay, so we got 20 feet high. Boom. Keeps it 20 feet high. We'll go to assemble. These are made by me and Rudy. When you get quick bid, it'll have a database and it'll come with basic stuff, but you can kind of build and create your own. And if you need some help, obviously just reach out. I can help you create these pretty quickly. So we're going to go wall, 6-inch metal frame to deck. This is already pre-assembled. So we got our layout, we got our top track, we got our regular track, and then we got our slip track, which is the top track. When the building moves up and down, you got your slip track in there. It's more expensive than a regular track. 6-inch. Actually, since this is going to be 20 feet high, we're going to make this 18 gauge. Everything 18 gauge. Just change this 20 gauge to 18. 18. 18. Okay, so slotted track. We got our stud, 18 gauge, 20 feet high, 16 on center. Stud start. Those are your segment counts, which is quantity 2. That's your start. And any corners when it takes a turn, that's what this captures. So always make sure you got that quantity 2 in here as segment count. Alright, back to quick bid. Got your pan heads, you got your pins. Here's the framing labor. This is linear foot, not square foot. I know people do square foot. I used to do per square foot, but now I understand that linear foot's actually better because they're framing it in a linear foot. They're not framing it every square foot. We got insulation in there. we got our drywall. Each goes 20 feet high, 2 layers. You can make these 4x12s. That doesn't really matter. That's totally up to you. Tape and float. So you got to check all these. This went to 10 foot each side. We're going to make it 20 foot each side. And then your drywall screws. These should actually be heavy gauge screws, which are, you're going to find your tech screws. DTS 114 is your tech screws. Tech screws are self-tapper screws. They go into heavy gauge metal studs. And it actually is a 2-hour firewall. So we're going to make this. Actually, we're going to do this. X58. 2 layers. 20 feet high, 2 layers, 20 feet high. Just, you can make this 4 layers, but to break it out like this, you can really see it a lot more clear. Then your tape and float, we're going to go TF1 for our first layer. Our under layer, because you only have to tape it. You don't have to float it out. So if you want to be competitive on your pricing, just make that TF1 for 2 layers. And then your 2 layers on top of that will be level 4, so you can sand it and paint it. That's a basic wall assembly. And if you want to go to your equipment tab, we're going to throw in a scissor lift. Let's just throw in 2 scissor lifts. Find your equipment rate with your supplier. I just plug in numbers for this video's sake. For now, we'll go to our markups tab. Change your tax. This is totally up to you, however much markup and profit you want to put in here. If you want to be competitive, do 25, 25. Some people put 15 and 20, making it 35 across the board. It's just, that's just totally up to you. And then there's our tax burden, our workers' comp, all that good stuff on our labor. Check your rates. Every state, whatever, is different. And then you can always check your materials on your material tab. Call your suppliers. That's 51 cents a square foot. That's $2.36 a square foot. $2.48, $3.58. I know it says 2,300, but that's per 1,000. So just read it as $2.36, $2.48. This is 51 cents. Blah, 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 blah. Boom. That's how you make your assembly for a 2-hour firewall. Now, let's go through and find these guys. So this is our metal stud on the outside of our CMU walls. And you got this guy here too. So let's go back to our floor plan and figure this out here. Let's do this. Let's go to exterior. We'll go 6-inch exterior wall for CMU. And make it 20 feet high. Get your segment count. Boom. Everywhere there's that wall where it shows, we'll grab it. There's that little guy we saw over there. We'll grab that in a minute. There's the little guy. Little guy. And you can tell the thickness of these walls. We'll actually make this 6 inches thick so you can really see that it covers that. Now, let's get back to that. We just covered this 6-inch. Now we're going to cover this soffit. What we're going to do is this. We'll go 6-inch exterior wall. We'll call it a soffit. And we'll actually have to go back and find out how high that is. 7 feet, make it 8 feet high. And we'll go here. Got that. So you can see the hatch line, the wall, and then it turns up into a soffit because it goes over this storefront glass. Because you can't have a wall in front of glass, there's no point for that. Let's see here. Captured all those. Let's find out what these little guys are. So 4 5/8 inch thick. So that would be a 3 5/8 inch stud. You can see it says 4 inch. And we'll capture the height. 16 feet high. Go back to here. Go. We'll just say 4 inch. Can't make that 4 inch. Capture those. Looks like little bump outs or accents. That's all that is. Captured that. Some people will pull that all the way through here, all the way around, but that'll make you lose the bid right there. So be careful on that. Check all your details, all your sections. Now we're going to go here. Let's get this guy out of the way. Alright, so it's got clips. Looks like it's got a little fry riglet or something right there. We got to find these notes. I'll find those. Alright, I'm still looking for those exact notes, but if you go to your structural drawings, especially on these new construction buildings, you want to find it on your structural. It tells you 6 inch 18 gauge studs, 5/8 wall sheathing, that's some Den's glass. You got your clips, clip, you got your 5/8 plywood roof sheathing. Sometimes people include that, sometimes the roofer does that. We'll exclude that for now, but let's build this guy. This is your soffit and your wall. Kind of has them as both. So let's go here. Symbol, exterior wall, 6 inch 18 gauge. So you got your stud at 20 feet high. You got your frame heavy gauge. So let's go over 16 feet. You got your bridge bar, you got your clips, you got your vertical clip, your steel pin loads, your 5/8 fire curtain. You don't need that. You need Den's glass. We got Den's glass. Since it's exterior, there's no drywall. That was for the drywall. So you got your 1/2 inch Den's glass, which it said 5/8, so let's change it to 5/8. Got your 1¼ inch self-tapper screws for your Den's glass. So that's how you build it in here. This is built by us, so if you want to look at this and copy it, make your own, you can. And since it's going to be the same for our soffit, it's just going to have a different height. And that height right there makes all of these heights. So that's how you build that. And then this wall, let's see if we got a same thing. We do not need our drywall. There's no insulation. And we got over 16 feet. We're going to need this DINS glass. So we'll just copy this. Put it in there. 3/5/8 18 gauge studs. It does tell us on here this is a true 4-inch stud. 5/8 wall sheathing. We put 3/5/8 studs in here. You can just bump the material up a little bit, but make a note that this is going to be true 4-inch stud. Just when you get awarded the job, you go back and then you price it with 4-inch and make sure you order 4-inch and not 3 5/8. So that's kind of how you do. A little bit of quick bid action right there. Pretty simple stuff. These shell buildings are pretty simple and straightforward, but that's a quick bid rundown how that works.